Okay, in this video we're going to look at two specific commands. This will be a short video, but we're going to look at the Autogear command as well as the maintenance command and the scenarios in which you should be using them and the scenarios in which you shouldn't be using them. So we'll look at the first one, which is the easiest. It's kind of hard to show you exactly what it does since everyone's technically geared already. But let's see. So the Autogear command. If I do the Autogear command, what does this do? It will essentially, depending on what level you are, it will give you the best in slot blue gear for that level that they're at. And if they're at level 80, the most you're going to get is 200 item level blue gear. That's all you're ever going to get. That is literally it. It's not going to magically give you the best gear in the game, depending on what your item level is. It is just going to be a baseline of 200 item level blue gear at level 80. So in most cases, you're only ever going to really do it the once. Once you hit max level, you get everyone to be in the spec they want, and you do the command. Done. That's it. I'm going to do it raid wide there. As we've also identified recently, if they already had really good gear, auto gearing is not going to remove a good item that they had previously. So here, a good example. We had a pretty good weapon already. It's not going to replace that. And if for whatever reason it did replace it on this inspect screen, the item would exist in their bag still. 99% of the time. It should remain in your bags. But there may be an issue where if their bags were full and you did auto gear and it put stuff away in their bags, it may either not actually replace their gear, or it may replace it, and because there's nowhere to put the item in their bags, you might lose it. So, word of caution, look at their inventory, make sure it's not completely full before doing any kind of maintenance command or auto gear command, because you don't want to lose any gear. Simple as that. But I'm going to try and do a good example here of, let's say I want this person to be a feral DPS, and my bad, is it, let's see what it's called. It's called cat PV. Okay, whatever. Talent spec cat PV. So if I did the auto gear command for this person who's now feral DPS, but they were previously balanced by the looks of it, I think this should give them new gear, because even though it's lower item level and it's only blue gear, it should be better for less back than some epic balance gear. So let's see. Okay, perfect. Good example. So auto gear, like I said, it only gave them 200 item level. There's the odd few leftover remnants from their previous spec, which they deem it to be an upgrade still. But for the most part, it's given them blue gear. That's all auto gear does. It's not going to magically give them crazy gear. However, since this one is a random bot and not a player bot, we have the ability to do this button, the auto initialize. So if we want it to match my IM level, you click this button instead. Now, we got a slight bug there. So let's, we looked at this in the previous video where that bug happens. To fix that, you log out, log back in, re-add the offline bots, and that fixes it. So let's just get a new bot very quickly to go over this scenario. If I want this one to be matching my IM level, I'm going to left click it on the auto initialize, and there we go. It's 241 IM level, and it's matching me. That's how you can get them to match your gear, but they have to be random bots. If I do this on mine, you can't auto initialize player bots. So for your own bots, you auto gear them the very once they're at level 80, and then to get better gear, you go in a raid, you get loot, naturally they roll on it and they equipped it. It's as simple as that. Now for the next command is maintenance. This one, what it does is it will, depending on their current spec, it will enchant, gem all the gear that they have to their respective spec that they're currently at. And it will also, depending on the class they are, it will give them loads of consumables. So if you're a rogue, it'll give them poisons. It'll give you pots, so health pots. If they're paladins, it'll give them the reagents. It'll give them everything they need. And another thing it'll do is, let's say you added a random bot, and they didn't have all their talents spent. The maintenance command will also spend the talents correctly to what their current spec is set as. So that's what maintenance command does. And technically you're free to do this as many times as you want. I guess it's good practice to maybe do it once you've got your raid set up and you're about to start clearing the raid. Then you make sure everyone is in their respective spec and you're happy with it. Do the maintenance command, it'll give them all the reagents that they need, spend any talents, enchant anything that they have unenchanted, and then you should be good to go. But I will highlight one thing to be careful of with the maintenance command. I've only really come across this issue once or twice, and it was always at lower levels. So a good example, in one of the bags on my Playerbots, I had the Bindings of the Windseeker, a legendary item. And when I did the maintenance command against that bot, and I logged into them afterwards and looked at their inventory was wiped completely. So any items I had previously, they were gone. And all I had left were the new reagents, the health pots, and the poisons, and whatever. So just bear in mind, there is a very slight chance when you do the maintenance command, it can wipe inventories. So if you have items that are important to you, either put them in the bank and then run the maintenance command, or just don't run the maintenance command. That's all there is really to those two commands, Autogear and maintenance. It's pretty self-explanatory. And then we also quickly highlighted down for random bots, to get them to match your item level, you use the auto initialize button, not auto gear. So hopefully that clears that up.